allow the children. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power.
Hello there. It's been a while, isn't it? Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you. That my brother from Japan. Good morning to you. From wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun live. Boo boo, I miss you too. Do not forget, like this broadcast, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, right? Read the caption of the broadcast, sit back, relax while we get started. Thank you very much. You probably are wondering, when last did you see Tinubu? When last did you see him in public? When last did you hear from him? Well, I remember reminding you that you are now in the Boko Haram Pro Max era. People will be speaking for him. Sometimes they'll be retracting a statement they make in the morning, replacing them with another statement in the afternoon, change them again in the evening, and possibly change them again. But you know the person they are speaking for, you are likely never going to see much of him again.
Glory Facebook, and yes, we like Glory YouTube.
Help. That's exactly what Tinubu is screaming.
And yes, we like
They want to give me Abiola treatment, MKO treatment. They are working to annul my election. They are trying to stop my inauguration. An electoral thief is screaming. There is more, not from him directly, but from those that actually engineered this disaster for their own benefit. They are screaming, and they are also running away from the lawyers. Thank you very much. Go to court. We were wondering, how could they be so confident that after rigging an election, that the INEC is still unable to present the evidence of the result announced? They ferried Kolu out of Nigeria a few days ago. Then the rumor broke. The Chief Justice of Nigeria was on his way to London to go and meet Kolu and his representatives. Since this whole thing is has ended in court. Go to court. Remember, I did say as well that there is something about this obedient movement. It is like, the moment of truth, where every hidden things, every disguised one Nigeria nonsense, including the rotten and destroyed institutions in Nigeria, corrupt institutions. The obedient movement came to expose them, challenge them in their own stuff, and then expose them into a serious ridicule, the corrupt system in Nigeria. Not because people didn't know that the Nigeria system is corrupt. They just never thought it was this deep. A lot of us knew. But with the obedience, right, they were able to expose the charade called elections in Nigeria, even though they have so much expectations, by the way. They didn't do this just to expose them. They thought they could take them down. Now, the establishment is never going to go down just without a fight. However, it has also shown the vulnerability, the exposure, the corruption that is the foundation of Nigeria, starting with the election. Right. They exposed that. INEC chairman who spent billions of naira campaigning for a charade that was already rigged in favor of APC. It was just like a normal ritual. Let's go and do election. Who participated in an election that the rules is written by the criminals who are also participating? Well, for the sake of experience and education, they say, life is a teacher. The more you live, the more you learn. And exactly what is going on right now, as the INEC failed the tests, got exposed, shattered, to the point that the credibility, where they never had any, no single credibility came out of their charade called election. People died. And they said, go to court. Now the battle has been taken to court, whereby the Nigeria Judiciary is now on trial. This is something that the criminals who ruined and destroyed, corrupted all institutions, are now screaming out in their top lungs. Help, help, help. They want to intimidate the judiciary so that the judiciary can annul the election. The judiciary can disqualify Kolu. Or they want to start a problem. Or they are looking for interim government. All this screaming and screaming, they are real. But it doesn't mean that they are actually or in any way lost control. They haven't. But there is fire on the mountain. The judiciary, which is the last place they want to seal the rigging. Now the judiciary is on trial. The Chief Justice of Nigeria don't they do skit video. In my life, I have never seen a video skit of a Chief Justice of Nigeria until APC Egbekegbe happened. Now, every now and then, maybe people who joined us new. Mayegun, what is Egbekegbe? Do you remember that fella song? Egbekegbe na bad society. Beast of no nation. Egbekegbe. Who are the beast of no nation? The rulers of Nigeria from time immemorial. Now, if you look at the amalgamation of the crooked, strange bedfellows that came together with vengeance, to form APC and what they have shown and become, you can call them the beasts of no nation. They use religion to divide people. They use tribe to divide people. They use ethnicity to divide the people. And they weaponize poverty against those who are those that they are using and those who are the victims of that poverty. Millions of Nigerians who cut across all ethnic and tribal nationalities. Have that in mind though. But the beasts of no nation in APC, they don't give a damn. They leverage on it. It's a profit. When you are bleeding, when you are dying, it is like a Bitcoin for the APC. Egbekegbe, the beasts of no nation. I am so sorry for some of you who have actually who are defending them because you think you share something in you have an affiliation with them. Oh, they are Yorubas, I have to support them. Oh, they are Northerners, I have to be with them. Oh, they are Christian, I have to defend them. Oh, they are Muslims, I have to defend them. You are lost. You are the pawn on their chess table. For those who have smartened up enough, they know them as beasts of no nation. APC. So when they came in together and infiltrated all institutions, corrupt them, destroy them, right? And Nigerians are left at the mercy of a lawless country. But they continue to shout rule of law, rule of law, rule of law. They don't obey any court order. You know that? But this time around, there will be no court order. And that is why, for some reason, on the 13th of March 2023, the Chief Justice of Nigeria left Nigeria. That was when this picture was taken. It wasn't a new picture. But there are some other things. Kolu, who left Nigeria by turning off his flight, tracker. Some now said, this man who has been in London for over a week met with Tinubu's representatives in London. Okay? And when they met, they are meeting for no other thing other than the constitution of the Court of Appeal that will listen to the presidential petition and cases. And then if the whole thing ended up in the Supreme Court, what are the odds? What are their chances? What are the things that they need to do? All of these are not new. Sure you get. Like, if you have been following Nigerian politics for a long time, bribing judges, compromising the judiciary, compromising the electoral system, compromising the security system, compromising the entire structure of institutions that should conduct free and fair election, that should select the people's choice. They compromise them from the onset, starting from registration. And that's exactly what they do too. If you end up in court, they compromise the judiciary. The highest bidder gets the most favorable judgment in Nigeria courts. Rarely would you actually see justice in any Nigerian courts. And I'm not making this up. However, for the first time, people are putting tracker on the players who are playing different roles in the destruction of Nigeria. Whatever happens in Nigeria at the end of the day, if Nigeria explodes, if it goes into a serious war, civil war, whatever. Now, the advantage of the obedient movement is to expose the role everyone is playing. Mahmoud has won the top award of the person who wrote election results and then gave all of you who should be the winner or who should be the loser, and is only the only person empowered by your fraudulent constitution to doing that. Compromised. Job done. So how do you make sure the numbers cooked by Yakubu when it gets to that Supreme Court is just going to be easy peasy? Waste of money, waste of time, waste of life, waste of resources, waste of hope. All will come to one thing, the establishment. Rigging you again. It's all rigged. It is a deep state. But surprisingly, the news then broke that the Chief Justice of Nigeria, disguised like a cripple on a wheelchair, to go and attend a meeting called by Tinubu in London. That meeting happened. Look at me very well. Yeah. That meeting happened. You know why? Immediately after the news broke, not Tinubu, the criminals, the ass leakers, the propagandists around him They quickly denied it. And immediately, they started wiping up sentiments, blackmail. Oh, you these children, you want to ridicule Nigeria. How dare you try to ridicule the judiciary? All of you, what you are doing is going to cause problem. Oh, you are going to, you want to destroy, you want to intimidate the judiciary so that they will annul election of Tinubu. Why are you worried? Let the judiciary worry. Ladies and gentlemen, 24 hours after this picture made it out, the man that couldn't walk, the CJN of Nigeria, that was nominated by Tinubu. In case some of you don't know, some of the justices in the Supreme Court, many of them were appointed by these politicians and confirmed by Buhari. They have just one purpose and one purpose only: to serve the purpose and the interest of the criminal politicians in Nigeria. If it comes to the last minute, they have a line of ruling. For the sake of national security, they cannot cancel the election, despite all the atrocities, abnormalities, and the illegalities cited by the opposition, the rigging and all of that. But for the sake of national security, we cannot cancel this election. Therefore, Bola Tinubu is hereby returned, elected president of Nigeria. Then you see celebration. Hey, all of you will see all of that. You will see the cheating. You will see the what do you call it? The legal abracadabra. You will see the Supreme Court justices who are only there and there for the establishment. Nothing to change. Not even now that you have to make a Chief Justice of Nigeria to start doing video skits. Have you seen this?
Sorry, get my feet. Let's go. Imam, let's go. Imam? Where's Imam? Okay. Imam? Where's Imam?
They had to start doing video. That's what you are going to be seeing too. Okay, you're going to be seeing 20 seconds video, 30 seconds video of Tinubu, just to show to you that he's alive. Any rumor they are saying, don't listen to them. Tinubu is alive. 30 seconds video. It will just walk out. It will walk out here. Sometimes he will meet people and greet them. Sometimes he will just say something. 30 seconds. That is the era. Just like Buhari's time. People will be talking. They will be replying people. They will be attacking people. They will be threatening people. They will even be arresting people on behalf of Tinubu. But you will not see him. You will not see him. That is the era. So when they met in London, according to the reports, it wasn't the Chief Justice of Nigeria only that met with Kolu in London. And it doesn't have to, it didn't really have to meet with Kolu directly. Do you remember the G5? Can anybody say they can present a single photo where the G5 met with any APC or Tinubu in London? Can you present any? Of course not. Sure you get. Their deal is always very straightforward. Kolu plans from the beginning to the end. And in all of this seems to be the toughest state capture. Capturing Nigeria, rigging Nigeria all through, and forcing it down their throats, and ensuring that it remains so and permanent is a big task. And just like he said, why do you need technology when you have the chairman of the commission? Yes, sir. there's this INEC technology. We are having people who can help us attack and then hack it. The beavers and the rest, sir. And they are saying that this guy is from Colombia. He can hack anything. And with $2 million, sir, they will hack the server for us, and then we can input our rigged numbers in it. And Tinubu looked at them and he said, listen, why do you need a technology? When you have the man that put the technology in place, or the man that we actually use the technology. They didn't understand, and said, nominating Yakubu for INEC as INEC chairman was his own doing, Tinubu's doing. Planning all along, planning to the end. Yakubu was nominated as INEC chairman to Bokuwari, and he got the approval just like expected. He delivered the first rigging in 2019. He told the whole world they were conducting a scientific election. The one that election, I mean, if you don't have your fingerprint biometric taken, you cannot vote. And when you finish voting, your election, I mean, your voting result will be transmitted right away from the polling unit to somewhere called the INEC server. That was the campaign, the propaganda and the lies of 2019. It worked. When they got to court, remember I told you, those thugs who are snatching ballot boxes, those thugs who are attacking you during the time you were voting, those policemen who are also helping them to rig elections, right? Those ones are just a mere distraction. The real people that rig your election are the INEC officials themselves, who impute numbers that you never actually voted. And they will announce the number. And the winners will go about and say, congratulations, congratulations, we won. So when they go to court, you might think you will actually go to court and get this all sorted, right? Here is what will happen. When INEC is ready to deliver their rigging to the last, they will also deliver evidence that, yes, they rigged you, okay? But there's nothing you can do about it. It is the INEC that rigged elections in Nigeria. So Tinubu did what? He picked the chairman of that commission. So once you pick the head, the rest of the body will follow suit. And that's exactly what happened. So today, they were serving Tinubu the letter or the court papers to say, Alaye, you get case. You have stolen an election. I think that's one of the reasons why he actually, not one of the reasons, not the reason maybe, right? But he voted, he jackpot. So the lawyers who went to see him, they met his absence. So they told them, serve him through his party. Listen to this. I'm coming back to that Chief Justice, the way they do Skito. We'll come back to that.
What really transpired in court as at the time you were there?
Well, we've come to urge the court to grant us leave to serve the second and third respondent, that is Ahmed Bola Tinubu and Kashim Shettima, with our court processes by substituted means. That is to say, to permit us to serve them through the legal advisor of All Progressives Congress, APC, in Abuja here. The petition, we have filed petition against the return of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima by INEC. And we have to serve them by substituted means because it is practically impossible to serve them personally as required by law. Because having been returned and now declared president-elect, the security around them will make it practically impossible for them to be served personally. And we have taken the liberty to activate the jurisdiction of the court to permit us to serve them through the legal advisor or any officer of APC at the APC national headquarters.
Your name, sir?
My name is Ikechukwu Ezechukwu.
Counsel.
Counsel to the petitioners, Gregory, Peter Obi, and Labour Party.
Now, let me explain to you what is going on so that you can be able to piece them together. Okay? It's not just going to all come out like, you get what I mean? Let's piece them together. Let's piece them together now. Okay? On the 25th of February, INEC in Nigeria and the government of Nigeria announced that they were conducting a presidential election, right? That everybody should participate. And with the promise that if you participate in this election, again, like 2019, you shouldn't be worried because it will be, it will be counted. And for you to be more confident in the system or in the process, we will be uploading, you will be able to upload your final result from your polling unit straight to what is called the IREF, INEX results, something, whatever. Now, on the day of the elections, among other dramas, people got shot at, chased, attacked, even killed across Nigeria. Voters were denied. But when people finally voted, those who managed to, they faced the second phase of the problems set by the same INEC, Tinubu, unable to upload their result as promised. For some reason, the backend server wasn't working. So people kept trying and trying and trying and trying. And that was a new problem. Guess what? Every other result they were able to upload all results. House of Reps, Senate, the election that was conducted same time, from the same space, used the same beavers, and they were able to upload the result of the Reps and Senate, not that of the president. Ironically or technologically. So when people kept trying and trying and trying and trying, they said at the back end, APC, Egbekebe, they were uploading falsified results, mutilated results, different things that were not like, in some cases, right? They were uploading results that don't belong to the polling units where they were uploaded. And they were doing this so manually. And guess what? Using just few computers in one single location, which have now been geo-tracked to Lagos. Somewhere in Lagos is where they uploaded all the fake results announced by Yakubu, including some of the states where they actually handed them prepared results and who to be announced winners. All of this happened in Lagos. And the Obi and his team, they already have their investigation that tracked that down, geo-tracked it, and they know the location where they uploaded all your fake results. I'm not making this up. Oh. Now, all of this, one thing is left. If you are not satisfied with the way the election was conducted, go to court. So going to court means you must have something different from what INEC announced, Dabi. So to compare, if INEC rigged, lied, you must have something that is different, Abi, to prove and counter-prove, Abi. So that was what they expected. And they then approached the courts to tell the INEC to allow them to access all of the electoral materials used for the presidential election. That was when INEC developed their code fit. Guess what? INEC went back to court. The same INEC that conducted free and fair elections. So they went back to court and said, court, we need your permission. We want to reformat the entire tablet or beavers we used for the presidential election because we need to use them again next week. What happened to the data in them? Oh, they are stored in the cloud. Really? Okay, give us what you stored in the cloud. Give us what you stored in your server before you wipe them off. Then INEC went to court and said, no, we can't. We can't let you see that. When the fight, dragging continued, On the 19th day, 2 days before the deadline of filing a court case against the election, INEC finally said, okay, yeah, take. That's the result. Guess what? They presented the result of 2 states, incomplete 2 states results, and the election materials and all that for 2 states out of 36 states in Nigeria. All of this, remember, you don't need technology. You just need the chairman. Whatever money cannot do, more money will do it. Do you know that? So INEC already compromising the process that could prove to the world that they rigged an election that everybody actually knows they did, but because of them they rig. The case that you have in court against Tinubu is not against Tinubu, it's against INEC of Nigeria. Once INEC blink, Tinubu don't fall. And that is why Tinubu need the judges that are going to look into all of this. How about you call it technical? Let's just say it's technical problem. We cannot cancel the whole thing. We cannot do another election. We cannot, or maybe we should actually rile everybody up. Let us accuse them, the people that we told to go to court. Let's accuse them of doing something that we are about to do. Go to court, go to court. Do you know something? Their propaganda now is that the Igbos, they want to do what they did to Abiola, to Tinubu. Abiola didn't steal votes. Abiola didn't kill people or stop people from voting. Sure you know. Abiola didn't buy INEC. Abiola didn't empower thugs to kill people. Remember that when you think, okay? And indeed, I wasn't too young. When the MKO Abiola's election happened, with all the fears and all of the wahala that surrounded that at the time, it was in fact more accepted and acceptable to a lot of people across Nigeria than this drug dealer, this drug baron, this sick, demented Kalu. Don't mix them up. Or in their propaganda world, that's not how they see it. They have a base that they will rile up. Yorubas. Yoruba says, Yoruba Ronu. Yoruba, please Ronu. They want to do Abiola to Tinubu. But do you know something? Among the people they killed for Tinubu are Yorubas. The people killed by his thugs, especially in Lagos, are also Yorubas. And they don't give a damn about them. So they're about to launch that propaganda that they're about to annul their elections. Because once INEC blink, you know what they call baby schedule? The baby battle, INEC is now going to be the baby. Once the baby blink, Tinubu is gone. To save his head. Now the person we're going to make the announcement. Why do you need to bribe all judges when you can pick the Chief Justice? The one that you facilitated is nomination, is ascension. He holds you anyway. Person will know if you walk a week ago. Person will be say, as at 48 hours ago, it was in London. And the obedient who found this picture uploaded it and said, yes, we have the evidence. The Chief Justice of Nigeria have led other justices to go and meet Kalu and take his deal. When the G5 were meeting them in London, I told you, the Lagos Abobakus, the ombud slaves, the sophisticated morons, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the all risers. They said, bring evidence. I said, I don't owe you one. But with a wiki, when you make a deal with a wiki, you are just making a deal with a public addressing system. It will tell us. And indeed, he came back and he said, yes, we are free agents, G5. We met with Tinubu, we met with Obi, we met with Obasanjo, we met with Atiku. Everybody came with their offer, with their deal. And I told you, do not be deceived. Werewike and his G5, they will gladly take the deal of Kalu. Tinubu is like a drug dealer, a drug lord. Why am I saying he's like? He is a drug lord. What they do is deal. They give you, they say, what is that thing in that narco movie? Can you remember that they say bullet? It's a meta or como or meta or something like that. Say you want to take life or bullets. Life is when they make you a deal to do something for them, compromise and do their bidding. So they will reward you with so much money. You get money. But if you have the chance and they say, do this for us, and you don't want to do it for them, that means you are going to be an obstacle. Abi? As an obstacle, they have the chance to remove you. So they give you bullets. Sorry. Plata. Pumo. God bless you. People, they watch movie, yeah. Okay. That's good. Now I know better. So if I get lost in using movie to make my description, you will come to my rescue. God bless you. They say plomo or plata. Plomo or plata. That's how Tinubu deals. For Tinubu, everybody has a price. Baba know the disguise. To Tinubu, everybody has a price. You just need to press on until you actually guess right their price. Do you know that? Tinubu can give you landed properties, finished property. He can give you a whole house outside Nigeria. He can give you things you want. All he wants from you is just a little compromise so that you don't delay him in getting what he wants. Simple. Before you make your offer, before you say this is what I want, Tinubu and gang, they will give you based on what they value you as state governors. How did he buy state governors? Do you think he gave them money? Do you think Tinubu paid state governors and all these other people money to do his bidding? It's not always money. So when he met with Werewike and Co. in London, he asked them, what did they want? What would you like? I know you are PDP, I am APC. All I want is that from our permutations, we are going to have a problem in the south of Nigeria. We already have problems in the southeast. In the middle belt of Nigeria, we've worked something out. But how can we work together? Like you said, you want a southern president, right? We are from the south. We know Obi is there. I am here. I know a lot of you, but for your own political survivor, what do you want? And Wike didn't want much. He wants immunity, free pass, to go and enjoy all his own loot. Everything is stolen, right? Every crime is committed. He would want to go and enjoy them in peace. Somebody needs to guarantee that. Somebody needs to look away. It all starts from granting him the free pass to choose his own successor. Do you get that? Yeah. All of them, Ikweazu wanted to choose his own successor. Werewike will choose Ace to keep his state and cover his ass. Egwanyi in Enugu wanted to save his ass, cover his ass, and he would like to choose his own successor. Whatever rigging Tinubu is planning, it must cover them, and it must cover them all the way to the Supreme Court if this whole thing ended in court. Would you do that? Well, that's easy. Of course, we can do that. You can have your way. As long as you can work it around and then make sure I get the 25%. That's what I'm looking for. 25% of the vote. I don't need to win. If you say we can go ahead and do what we want to do, yeah, you will get more than 25% Ashiwaju. I think the same offer was given to Atiku. The same offer was given to Obi, which they didn't give any specific answer. In fact, Werewike said they crossed out Atiku entirely because they couldn't take his word. Even if Atiku said, I am giving up everything for you, they won't believe him. It was just for semantics to host him as well in London. But what's the point I'm making? Throughout all this whole deal, the person when you appear for picture, now he can't get the deal. Now they can't enter, can't go rig for, mutilate everywhere, keep people for. Why did they do that? Because they love him? No! Oh, because they respect him? No! They're doing it for themselves. That is their own part of the deal. They need to hold their side down. Tinubu will hold his own side down as well. And if it is for power, Everybody will get what they want. If you stand on their way, you will also get what you want. You can get killed. But before we start killing, let's make sure that we are not in any legal trouble. But let me tell you something. One of the problems that Tinubu is scared of about his court case. Do you want to know? I'll tell you. One of his most dreaded worry is that part of American conviction. You know, they are trying to explain to you that forfeiture is not conviction or indictment. That's what they are telling you in Nigeria, right? But sometimes in 2004, I think, or 14 rather, 2014, you see this man, the Chief Justice of Nigeria now, actually did rule on something that has to do with forfeiture, okay? And it was between Mohammed Abacha, Sonny Abacha's son, and the Federal Republic of Nigeria, where Abacha, the kleptomaniac dictator, the murderer, as some of, what do you call it? Some of his looted resources from Nigeria confiscated, but his own son and children were also part of the whole carnage, the whole killing spree that Abacha carried out. So they were standing and the forfeiture ruling came up. It was this Tinubu's new confidant that did rule this, Olukayode Ariwola. He said, this is an appeal against the judgment of the Court of Appeal Abuja Division, delivered on the 18th day of April 2005, whereby it resolved against the appellant the questions that were referred to it by the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, right? Justice Sally, blah, 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 blah. And then ruling on the forfeiture here said, the whole purpose of this ad hominem legislation, as clearly stated in Section 1 of the decree, was to recover from the persons named therein properties and monies acquired corruptly and illegally by them, bearing in mind that in interpreting a statute, the court must avoid absurdity. It is necessary to juxtapose the term forfeiture with indemnity to ascertain the intention of the lawmaker. Black's Law Dictionary, 8th edition, at page 677, defines forfeiture thus: the divestiture of property without compensation, the loss of a right, privilege, and property because of a crime, breach of obligation, or neglect of duty. It goes on to say, title is instantaneously transferred to another, such as the government, a corporation, or a private person. Therefore, forfeiture connotes punishment for a crime committed, and its effect is instantaneous. Indemnity is defined at page 784, subparagraph as 1. A duty to make good any loss, damage, or liability incurred by another. The right of an injured party to claim reimbursement for its loss, damage, or liability from a person who has such a duty. Indemnity and forfeiture are clearly diametrically opposed to one another. A person who has forfeited property on the basis of a crime cannot be entitled to indemnity. Forfeiture is a form of punishment. There is no indemnity in our criminal procedure, according to this man, who is now the Chief Justice of Nigeria. He will be sitting with 6 other justices that will then have to explain the criminality behind Tinubu forfeiting 460,000 US dollars and heroin proceed illegally acquired, which to avoid jail, he had to forfeit. That is part of the case. And that is why they kind of feel like the court is going to annul them. But when you remember the propaganda of naira scarcity, fuel scarcity, and the Aso Rock cabal trying to stop Tinubu, and every other propaganda thrown into the fray ahead of the February 25th charade called elections, right? Only for all of you to now realize that it was just a mere distraction. They are doing all of this together so as to make it look a little bit like a legit. And in other words, to make it sound like Tinubu is doing all of this by himself. Is responsible for the rigging, therefore he will be responsible for the violence that will follow. In my own opinion, it is ideal to divert that. And in this case, going to court is now about to be termed as the intention to repeat MKO Abiola annulment. It is also going to be a stage where Tinubu's propaganda are going to go all out now, to finally ignite the flame of that tribal war, ethnic war, and guess what? They are going to blame the Igbos. I hope you are ready. These young people and old, they gathered in Abuja, and they're actually asking for interim government, something that Tinubu believe is the end goal to stop him from being president of Nigeria. I mean, they did say, they want a new election, and they want an interim government. Shocking. It happened in Abuja. I'll take you there.
Whatsoever they want to submit to the leadership of the House. Nobody goes beyond here if it is not officially invited. That is the stand. So I want you people to understand so that you will help us to help you. If you take the position where it is earmarked for protest, we will give you the necessary support you need. We will take you in. You will submit whatever paper you have, and I'm sure it will be attended to. That's the standard practice here. Thank you.
It's okay. No, officer, you have spoken. You have spoken to the extent of in context with your office, but there's also a legality that is greater than your office. It's called the Federal Constitution of Nigeria. It is the highest. Before we came here as law-abiding citizens, the police is fully involved, and all the relevant security agencies fully involved. In a country where in just a few days ago, people were burnt in Kano, people were shot in River State, people were cut down, Nigerians like you were cut down in Lagos. As it stands right now, the law that permits the 2022 electoral law that states the procedure for election that was signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari is in the dustbin.
At the moment, yes.
That's right. Everything that holds our constitution has been put in the dustbin. And the National Assembly, who enacted that law that President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law, are mute quiet. It means complicit.
Yes.
You cannot be telling Nigerians our loyalty is not to him.
Exactly.
As it stands right now, our loyalty is not to any leadership or anybody. Our loyalty is to the state. It is the Constitution of Nigeria.
Exactly.
And like you rightly stated, he is our servant. He should be grateful that we came here today.
They should be aware of that.
There is no legal standing in a country As we speak right now, there are people in the bush kidnapped by ragtag army, people who are not even trained. People are crying and weeping. We have undergone the most fraudulent election in the history of global election. And you are here looking at people who are dead, and you are telling them, officer, that a man who enacted a law that he could not even stand by, that we voted for and put in place, that we need a special permission in position to see him while we are here. People, it is impossible.
It is impossible.
I say it is impossible.
It is impossible.
The world is watching now.
Yes.
We will give him 15 minutes.
Just 15 minutes.
15 minutes because he's listening to us. The chairman of the National Assembly, who has failed in every ramification.
Yes.
We want him to report here now.
Exactly. In the next 15 minutes.
Because we are law abiding. This is our plea, this is our prayer, this is our call to give the message that we have. We already gave a message yesterday for the sack and prosecution of Professor Mahmoud Yakubu at the INEC office.
Yes.
We are coming here to remind those who made the law, who have gone mute, but because we are custodians of the law, 15 minutes, otherwise the world will hear us.
Nigerian people!
Right!
Nigerian people!
This is very important. This is where we are.
So are we good?
No, it's fine. Hold on. That guy should stop that thing. Is it okay like this? Yeah.
Nursing the bruises of hope. This is why we're here. Today we mourn the demise of credibility, the rape of trust, and the abuse of will. Today we stand in the ruins of transparency, on the emblem table of inclusion, equity, and accountability. Today we are voices, toneless, stripped of the music of choice. Today we are Nigerians broken, calling on INEC, the National Assembly, and the presidency to count our votes. On the 25th of February 2023, Nigerians trooped to their polling units with one mission: to cast their votes and choose their next leaders. They qualified for this exercise by participating in the year-long continuous voter registration, which witnessed an unprecedented spike as never seen before since 1999. Months later, they returned to collect their permanent voters card and went home with a commitment to participate and engage with the...
Ah, God! Why do you brought me to this Nigeria? What is my sin? Kí lè ṣẹ̀ mi gangan? Kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mi tó fi dá mi sí Nàìjíríà yìí? Ìkíní, èkejì, ẹ̀kẹta. Ah! Ó yẹ o.
We are demanding that he should be prosecuted. We also demand, and that is what we are all agreeing, that we should have a transition government to take care of another election. Are we all agreeing that we do not agree with the result of this election? Those who do not agree say nay. Those who agree say aye. You see, when I know they listen. When I know they listen. If no exam now, when I don't follow. Don't worry. So, what they now be say? What they be say? The INEC chairman has found us.
I think I've got a muted stuff. I'm sorry. So, if the audio jumped itself, sorry, if you can't hear me before, you can hear me now. All right. I think it's all right. It should be all right now. Can you hear me now? I bet it's all right. So I was saying earlier, when you saw this image, when you had this image on your screen, right? That was Kolu. After seeing everything going on, majority of you may not know, it hasn't escalated yet. You may not know that there are protests going on in Nigeria since this election, no, because they haven't shot and killed people, and it hasn't become bigger yet. There has been protests in Abuja for days now. There has been protests in Nasarawa for days now. Sure you get. And as it be, even people are confused. Those who are in support say nay, nay. Those who are not in support say hi, hi. You know they listen. The best way they call ourselves no get sense. Confusion everywhere. Those who are not in support say hi, hi. Those who are supporting say nay, nay. You know they listen. That's the confusion brought by this clown. His name is Mahmoud Yakubu. There are protests going on. There are planned protests. There are huge ones also. NLC joining. A lot of things going on. And that is why Kolu screamed. I wish he was him and not Festus or Fraudsters Otobokeyamo. Right? Now, if you are still watching me, well, you're probably still watching, okay? So, if you're watching on YouTube, where we have over 4,000 of us already, we have over 600 of us on Facebook. So if 600 of you decided to pay your tithe on Facebook, that means we have 600 shares, 600 likes. Now, if 4,000, over 4,000 of us on YouTube, if all of us decided to just go there and pay our tithe and, pay our offering, go and like the video, that is going to be massive too. But you know something? I haven't seen Kolu. I haven't heard from him. But I have heard many times horrible things from those who are waiting for their turn under Kolu. For example, Femi Foni Kayode, for Food Kayode, after seeing everything going on, they kind of believe that some people are putting pressure on the judiciary, especially the obedient, trying to harass and bully Nigeria judiciary into annulling Tinubu's stolen election. Remember, they are the one who said you should go to court. If you go to court, what do you go and ask court? That they should confirm Tinubu as winner. Is it not to go to court to say, no, he didn't win, stop him, Abi? So why did you tell them to go to court when you don't want them to annul your election? See now, Femi Foni Kayode is now threatening Nigeria that they will make Nigeria ungovernable if anybody try to annul the election. The propaganda not start. He deleted this tweet. For example, if you try to go and look for it, you will not see it. He deleted it, the coward. He is also the coward who threatened Joe Biden and America that if they don't call Tinubu to congratulate him, once Tinubu become president, right, America will pay because you cannot disrespect Nigeria president-elect. And then all of a sudden think the president of the biggest black nation on earth, the biggest African country, blah, 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 blah. Now, this is Femi Foni Kayode threatening Nigerians. He said, annul Asiwaju's election and we will annul your brain. Violence. People that are preaching violence are now the ones who are now accusing others of incitement. He said, given what the opposition are planning and doing, despite our attempt to keep the peace, see the Olori Bruku that is keeping the peace, the drug Shoko. We are going back to the trenches. Those attempting to intimidate courts, destabilize our nation and stop the swearing in, we rule the day. They are going to start ethnic war, tribal war, if any, for any reason. And let me tell you this, right? For those of you who probably don't know this, if they had declared Peter Obi the winner of that your election by now, a month after, number one, you won't have the governorship election, maybe. By now, we will be counting bodies. And then you'll be knowing some areas that you can't go to anymore. From northern Nigeria, down across the country, to the western Nigeria, to Yoruba land. They would have started an unimaginable war. Well, not war. Violence. Attacking people. Just same way they planned and prepared for 2015. That if for any reason, Goodluck Jonathan decided to stay back and fight back, they will unleash the terrorists on the whole country. And they even said they will capture Jonathan like they did to Gbagbo in Ivory Coast. Some of you may probably have forgotten all of this. They were threatening Jonathan 2015. If he try anything, they will give him the Gbagbo treatment. They will take over Abuja. They will kill it, all the Igbos, everybody who is trying to, it was hell. I think that was the moment the guy said, my re-election, no blood of Nigerian is worth my election. Do you remember he said that? This bunch of terrorists were threatening him. And later, when they unleashed the terrorists on the rest of Nigeria, the terrorists themselves said, APC, Egbekegbe brought them and they abandoned them. All of these are facts. I'm not making them up. That's what APC represents. That's what would have happened if APC lost the election. If they lost it to Atiku, they won't fight much. But if they declared to be winner, you will be surprised. Why? And at that point, you probably will think they will never allow him to be president with all this violence, with all this crisis. I'm saying this because I saw few of the plans. I heard some of them brag about them. But immediately, you know what I mean? They were able to work on INEC, compromise it. There will be no need for any war on the Igbos and non-Yorubas alike, okay? But going to court, look at them. They are already inciting their base. If anything should happen in court, it is not because Tinubu stole election, no. It is because disobedient, they bullied the judiciary to annul the election. And that is going to be war from the people, from the winner. But on the other hand, they will tell you, disobedient are going to create crisis in Nigeria. They are ridiculing the judiciary. They are bringing the judiciary to the, are you mad? Are you dead? Were you dead when Bokwari, because of his 2019 election game, decided to, in the middle of the night, to invade, and he invaded all the judges in Abuja. He invaded their quarters in the middle of the night, accused them of corruption. They march all the my lord out, into the DSS question room, interrogation room. Did you forget that? Now you can't say because they don't beam the searchlight on the judiciary. The young people are ridiculing the judiciary. They are spoiling the judiciary. We witnessed that. They ridiculed the judiciary simply because they wanted to remove the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Onogen. They said, Onogen, you have a special account abroad. We saw $1,000 inside that account. You are very corrupt. Oh, yeah, resign. If you don't resign, we are going to deal with you. They had to harass several judges, bundled them in their pajamas, took them straight to the DSS detention for 2 days. Judges in Nigeria, only for them to come later. Bundle the Chief Justice himself straight in front of another criminal called the Code of Conduct Bureau. Have you forgotten? At the end of the day, they said Onogen is suspended, and they brought in Tanko technicality. He became your Chief Justice of Nigeria, acting. INEC rigged the election in 2019. Then when you went to court in 2020, you met Tanko technicality there. The rest, they say, is history. Isn't it? So, Don't pretend that anybody is actually ridiculing the justice. You are putting the image of my lord on which chair? How could you people do this? You are calling for war. You are calling for war. Talon call for war. Where you see them, expose them, record them, capture their voices, record their video. Wherever you see them, post them online.